to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another special message from the Ancient Ones. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. It's time, beloveds. It's time for us to allow Babylon to fall. And this week's message from the Ancient Ones is all about we need to stop waiting for compensation. There is no compensation that Babylon can give us. There is no reparations. All this discussion, when we continue this, to have this back and forth about reparations and getting our, 40 acres and a mule or whatever, we're going to get this money for this and we're going to get this money for that. It's just delaying the fall of Babylon. There is no justice in getting money when money is about to collapse, so it will be worthless. But it will happen again. I mean, it's so painful to think that the cycle will happen again, where we will once again accept a false freedom, because our agreements are no joke, beloveds. And I think because the whole world has been so trivialized, and the depth of the spiritual connections and the what's behind the spirituality between some of these physical things we take for granted. Contracts are no joke. They don't just happen physically. They also have an effect and a ramification on the spiritual and soul level. So when governments agree to take pittance, basically nothing, for the sufferation, the rape, the pillaging of their ancestors. First of all, it's a slap in the face to the spirit of the ancestors, because there's no monetary value on that. But you see, that agreement buys them time. And people are really emotionally connected to this. Really emotionally connected to that they have to get their reparations and they have to get theirs back. It won't happen physically. And if you're still looking for it physically, then you're really looking in the wrong place. Redemption is spiritual. And then it manifests physically in a totally rewarding way that you had never even imagined. But redemption is physical, beloveds. The only compensation for what happened to our ancestors is to the collapse of the system that did that. No amount of money will work for that. Getting land back. I mean, people say get businesses, etc., but Babylon is collapsing itself, so we don't want their businesses. But beloveds, we must allow Babylon to fall. And it's a hard one, and I'm sure, people are going to get really emotional, but stop waiting for reparations. That's how they keep you entangled. And the entanglement spell is crazy, because someone will keep promising you something for years and years and years, and you'll keep believing, so you'll keep delaying their judgment when what you really want is judgment and justice. But you delay their justice because of how the world works. I think I said it in a previous show. That's why we see the Rockefellers and the Ford's Foundations of this world simultaneously, building, causing the worst crimes in the world, and then having the greatest charities and foundations to help people. The very same people that they mashed up. Look at Cecil Rhodes. Totally created apartheid South Africa, but at the same time, all these, Africans would get scholarships to go to I think it's Oxford or wherever. And people would be so proud, I'm a Rhodes scholar, That's how deep this is, beloveds. And you see, they've made us believe that the physical is so important so that we keep trying to claim a physical inheritance that means nothing and forego our spiritual inheritance. If we were just to walk into our spiritual inheritance, beloveds, it would change everything. I mean, it's that simple and yet it's that complicated. But stop waiting for a system that has never done the right thing to do the right thing. I think that's what has really delayed us as an African people from creating our own kingdoms and queendoms, from erasing the Babylon systems that never worked for us, the governments, the democracies, all this stuff that never worked, the health systems that never worked. Because we've always been thinking that we're dealing with people that are like us, people who are merciful, people who have no choice but to be merciful and patient because that is part of their spiritual nature and determines their spiritual inheritance. Like, we're dealing with the people who don't even know the value of that, but they'll always try and rig the system. They'll always try and rig the system, beloveds. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Dr. Mumbi's spiritual show. I really hope you've subscribed and I hope you've liked so that more of our people get to see this message. Special shout out to everyone that sends us donations through PayPal. Thank you so, so much. There is a gift in the mail for you that you will find very, very uplifting. But beloveds, it's time for us to let go and stop waiting for reparations. And I know this is a touchy subject. There was someone who even wrote to me, you don't know about reparations because you're in Africa and we're in the divided states and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, you should look sometimes at the comments and emails and messages that you send to kind of get an idea of where you are mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. It should be a gauge. Because at this point, what you say to me or about me is really none of my business if it's in negative in any way. That just shows me who you are. And we have to stop feeling like we can just send out these darts to people. And and whatever you're going through, beloveds, try and reel in your self-control, try and have a bit more self-control. Because your anger and your own emotional and psychological instability reflects so much more about you than about me or other people. But those are stories for other days. Maybe I'll do a separate show on that. But beloveds, it's time to let go. Stop being so emotionally attached, like that Babylon has to do something for you physically, because that's how they've kept our people for so long. So much should have happened immediately after independence, but it didn't. Partly because Babylon, already had their secret societies, already had their brotherhoods in place, was able to literally either assassinate or bribe or what do you call it when you, what's that word? Assassinate, bribe, or blackmail. That's the word I was looking for. You see, blackmail, more like whitemail our leaders. And so, and they started a cycle because there was no independence. It was basically, we shifted from a colonial age to a neo-colonial age. We shifted from being, physical slaves and physically colonized to being financially colonized. They just flipped the system on us. And so the more we buy into their lies, like they've never told the truth, beloveds. What do they say about Satan or the devil? Like he's, the great trickster. He lies with a straight face. He lies with a smile. And so many people voted in this wicked regime that we're seeing right now because they believed they were going to get something, and then the Asians got the Asian Americans got something sooner. I mean, there's so much out there. I really hope you follow Black Authority on YouTube. Definitely one of the revolutionary voices of our time. But beloveds, stop waiting for Babylon to do the right thing. They never did the right thing with our great great grandparents, our great grandparents, our grandparents, our parents, us, and they're not doing the right thing with our children. So stop waiting for that. The only redemption, as I said, is spiritual. The only compensation is spiritual. There's no amount of money that we can get, there's no reparations that we can be given. And we've been seeing it everywhere. Australia, etc., etc. And I've been getting a few questions. Why are they all rushing now to compensate us? Germany, all these countries, why are they rushing? Because they know what time it is, but it looks like we don't. But as long as we get into these, totally worthless agreements and contracts, we delay our real redemption. Because the only redemption is the total the freedom to restore our lives. We've never been free, which is why we can even buy into the lie of reparations. Reparations is a lie, beloveds. I know some towns are doing it here. I got an email, I don't know which town is it Evanston or something like that in Chicago, in Illinois, which is going to give every black family a certain amount of reparations. But you see, all of this just delays. The only true reparations is you going back to yourself. So what? They give us the reparations, but they keep over 90% of our tools, our scripts, our power tools, our, instruments of power. How does this all work? And what has always delayed us is we fight for a half freedom instead of being courageous enough to go for the whole thing and say we want everything to change because we become too comfortable in the Babylon system. But the day a generation says, I want everything to change, and it may not even be up to us. It may be Babylon falling, and then, just by the sheer power of our ancestors and the spirit of, Mama Earth and Mama Africa, we find ourselves creating our own systems again. But stop waiting for reparations. And don't shoot the messenger, beloveds. I'm just here to share the real truth with you. There is nothing that Babylon can ever give you that will compensate you for what happened to your ancestors. Nothing. And what continues to happen to you. They didn't stop. How can they pay reparations when they're still doing the slavery, beloveds? Come on, let's get real. How? How does that happen? What does that look like? And really, this is the message from the ancient ones. That the redemption will be spiritual, and we've got to stop looking for it and seeking it and being so emotionally connected to it on the physical. Because that delays the spiritual redemption. Tuko pamoja.